In Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 17, Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" The disciples answered, "Some say John the Baptist, others Elijah. Still others say Jeremiah or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter said, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." With this Bible verse in mind, I will begin to tell you who Jesus is to me. He is my brother, my constant companion, my Lord, my God. He is the center of my life. This description of my love for Jesus has not always been as it is now. I grew up in the Catholic tradition before the Second Vatican Council, where I was to obey all rules, not really take any part in the Mass, and hope that any transgressions of mine weren't glaring enough to be noticed at the time of the resurrection. I went to Catholic grammar school and Catholic high school and got all A's in the box called religion. I thought that was as good as it could get. Life was good as I grew, married, had children, and had a career that I excelled in. My faith was on the back burner of my life, and I turned to it now and then. I was an ordinary woman, living an ordinary life, like so many other women of my era. As I grew in age and wisdom, I started to question who this God-man was and what was my relationship to him. I realized that to foster my faith and grow in love took some effort on my part and some prayer for guidance. I sought and I found. So how do I encounter this Jesus who is always with me? How do I know that I am always in the presence of the divine? It is a feeling in my soul of deep communion with Jesus. It is the grace that I receive from him to love and to accept that love from him in return. My encounter with Jesus demands that I maintain this deep connection with him, and this leads to a response from me. I want to spread this fantastic love. It is the grace to accept the invitation that he offers me to attend Mass often and to pray often, to contemplate his life and his divinity. I meet Jesus in the sacraments, especially in the Eucharist and in the sacrament of reconciliation, where I feel his mercy. I also encounter him in the service to others. All these are deep and very personal. I would like to share with you one time that I realized God comes to me in many different ways. I just need the eyes to see. I have a medical condition called labile hypertension. My blood pressure can go very, very high and turn around and go very, very low. A few years ago, I had what the medical profession calls a hypertensive crisis. My systolic pressure was over 278, and I was told a stroke was imminent. With that news, I just closed my eyes and prayed, "Jesus, I need to feel your presence now." With my eyes still closed, I started to see one person after another till there were thousands, all with their arms outstretched, and I identified them as the communion of saints. I didn't know if they were calling me home or if they were just praying for me, but I did not see or feel Jesus. In a few minutes, a nurse came by, and she came into my room and held my hand and said, "I will stay with you, and we'll get through this together." She never let go of my hand for the longest time. And I thought, there you are, Jesus. I just needed the eyes to see and the faith to believe. My favorite encounters are in the ordinary things in an ordinary day. I see him in the faces of children as they learn about life and about God. I see him in my friends as we struggle to find out how fast life is passing us by. I see him in the face of an elderly priest who I bring the Eucharist to and then sit at his feet and listen to his stories of his long life. I see him in my children and my grandchildren, and I try very hard to see him in the face of strangers. Where are all these encounters leading me? My hope is that it leads me to everlasting life. I know that I am not finished, that I will continue to search and to grow and to receive the graces that are given to me, that I will continue to carry the crosses that are mine to carry. I will embrace the kingdom of God and live in it with peace and hope. I will continue to fan the flames of love for Jesus and live with my heart on fire.